I'm Judy Zelina. Welcome back to the Millcreek Government Channel. Social Security has provided financial protection for our nation's people for over 80 years. Chances are you either receive Social Security benefits or know someone who does. It reaches almost every family and at some point touches the lives of nearly all Americans. Social Security helps older Americans, workers who become disabled, and families in which a spouse or parent dies. Joining us today to talk about Social Security services and support is Public Affairs Specialist John Johnston. John, thanks for being on the show again. It's been a while.
Yeah, it has been. Thanks for having me, Judy. I appreciate it.
Well, it's really great that you can come here, update, remind our viewers, how to apply for Social Security and everything else you have available.
Oh, absolutely. I feel like our shows are always productive.
They are. Mm-hmm. What I'd like to start with today, John, is your website. Mm-hmm. I've been on it. It's so informative. Mm-hmm. It really is user-friendly. Mm-hmm. What information can I find on your website?
Sure. I often tell people today, in 2019, the primary way to start doing business with us is on our website. Most of the people that we run into are internet savvy, so we've gotten past that generation that didn't use the internet. The people who are coming into Social Security use the internet and they expect services to be online. So over the years, I think our first version of our website was up in 1994, and over the years it's just kept improving and we've kept adding on information. So 2019, when you hit our website, you can basically get any. I often say there's more information available to the public on the Social Security website in 2019 than was available to me as an employee anywhere when I started in 1996. So that's how long I've been with Social Security. You can set up a My Social Security account, which is probably the primary feature, and that's something we added several years ago, and that allows a person to have an account where they can dial directly into their own Social Security. So the statement that we used to mail out to people that started magically appearing in your mailbox about 10 years ago, and then disappeared about 5 years ago.
Yes, it did.
Right. So that was a decision that we made years ago to start sending out this statement to people so they could see what they were going to have when they obtained their Social Security age, and also to check their earnings each year. Unfortunately, it was an expensive proposition, so we moved that over to the website through a My Social Security account. It's safe, convenient, and secure. Individuals can answer some questions and have a password. Then they'll have a password and a username where they'll log into their accounts and be able to see that statement at any time. So if you're getting close to retirement age, having a My Social Security account may be the most important thing that anyone can do for retirement. For a person of younger age, they should be checking their earnings each year just to make sure the earnings are reported to Social Security correctly.
Okay.
The benefit that we eventually will pay people and that we all hope to become customers of one day, that benefit is derived based on individuals' earnings. So the earnings actually get reported to Social Security by the employers, and we take about 1 billion wage reports every year. It's important that individuals check to make sure their employer is reporting the wages correctly.
Okay.
We have seen administrative errors be made. So if, for instance, your employer is sending your wages to us and they get the last number of your Social Security number wrong, those wages may never get to your record. And when you look at your earnings record, you may have zero earnings in those years as opposed to the earnings that you're supposed to have. It's a lot easier to fix a problem that is 1 to 2 years old than to try to fix something like wait till your retirement age and try to fix something that is 20 to 30 years old. Mm-hmm. So with younger people or future customers, the My Social Security account that is available on the website, they can just log in once a year to check their earnings. And once a person becomes a customer of ours, that My Social Security account changes and almost becomes like a Social Security dashboard where a person can administer their own Social Security benefits. So when I talk about Social Security, the biggest, and I'm out all over the place talking about Social Security, the biggest complaint that I have is we have more customers than we do people to serve the customers. So if you call us or if you come into the office, there's going to be a wait before you have service. So there's all sorts of minor changes that a person may need to make on their Social Security record during the course of receiving Social Security benefits, updating their address, changing their direct deposit, requesting a replacement 1099, requesting a benefit verification letter, requesting a new Medicare card, requesting a replacement Social Security card. All these are things that individuals may want to do, minor things, but they may not want to have to go into an office or call an 800 number. So you can do that all through a My Social Security account now. So the people who are internet savvy and want to be able to manage their own Social Security, who are maybe, you know, we're used to doing things ourselves now because of the internet.
Right.
Like
yes, we are.
It's been a interesting technology for all businesses, including ours. So I think that it really shines for individuals who want to use it for those post-entitlement types of issues where they may not want to wait just to call us and they can do it on their own. So the main part of our website, My Social Security accounts, and everything kind of goes out from there where you can file for retirement benefits.
Okay.
So now probably in Erie County, 65% of our people who file a claim start filing on the website. So they go to the website and they fill out the application. It's pretty hard to miss because there's big boxes that say retirement, and you click there, and then
That's
you click
the
on the box.
user-friendly
Yes,
part.
it is. It
Yes.
is very user-friendly nowadays. And you just click apply for retirement, and most people can get through that application in 15 minutes. You know, it's just really a simple, some simple questions about who you are, you know, where you worked, if you were married, if you have any children, et cetera, et cetera. So, you know, lots of people can file applications. You can file a disability application through our website. And then the informational part of our site, and that's probably, you know, any piece of information you want to find about Social Security is available on our website. Our entire policy manual that we operate on is available on our website. If you want to find out about our disability process, you can find that out on our website. If you want to know about, if you're really interested in the history or some of the, you know, how we got to where we are, we have a great historical page where we really address from when we started in 1935 and all the, you know, our first beneficiary, Ida Mae Fuller, which I know you and I have talked about before,
Right.
and all of our little history marks, like when disability was added to the program and when Medicare was added. You know, you can find out all that information, and even stuff like our actuary publishes tables that address, you know, the solvency of Social Security, and our trustees report is on there. So the information is now available for anything that a member of the public would want directly on socialsecurity.gov.
John, I wanted to ask you, you're talking about you can start the application process for retirement, apply for Social Security retirement benefits. Is it over and done with? I mean, do I go right online and I do that application, am I done? Or will I have to have a meeting with someone or a phone call with somebody?
Most of the time, it's done.
Is
you know,
it?
A person fills out a retirement application. You don't need to submit. In most cases, no other supporting documentation is needed.
Okay.
Now, there's always exceptions to that rule. So, for instance, maybe, and this is another reason to have a My Social Security account, so you can kind of maybe clear up some of these exceptions beforehand, before filing. But maybe we, as an agency, have your date of birth wrong. So we track date of birth by people's applications for Social Security cards. When people have applied for Social Security cards through their lifetime, they've showed us their birth certificate. We've ascertained how old they are. And our records are remarkably accurate, but occasionally maybe there's a typo. So we've typed in a May 11th birthday as maybe May 1st, or got the year 1956 rather than 1955. So if the date of birth is wrong, a person would have to show their birth certificate when they filed.
Okay.
Because, you know, they'd filed a claim, they'd put their date of birth in, and it would be different than what we have.
All right.
So because there's now a discrepant date of birth, we would ask for a birth certificate. There are some, you know, everybody comes to us with different circumstances. So I often use my mom as an example. She filed a widow's claim on my dad's record when she turned 60 years old. One of the questions on every application is, did the number holder ever work in a foreign country? Well, my family grew up in Canada, so my dad was insured under the Canadian Social Security. So just by answering yes to that question, we assisted my mom with getting part of her Canadian pension. But the point is she had another kind of variable to her application that is a little bit different than most people.
Okay.
So that took a little bit longer. And there's all sorts of questions on the application that are like that maybe a person has a little bit different of a retirement that we're going to need an extra step. And if that's the case, we'll notify the person and say, hey, we noticed you answered this question on your application like this. We're going to need to see this documentation. So some of the other questions a person may encounter is about military service. So military service, based on when a person served in the military, will actually add on wages for those years to increase their benefit. Generally, we have that information already, but it's possible that a person would need to submit a DD-214 to us in some cases.
Okay.
We also ask about railroad. So if a person was a railroad, worked for the railroad board, there's special retirement rules for those folks. We ask if people have taken a vow of poverty. Probably the weirdest or the most unusual question, at least for us here in Erie, Pennsylvania, is we ask individuals if they've ever been a Japanese internee. Okay? And do you know why we would ask a question like that?
No, I have no idea, John. I was just going to say, why is that relevant?
Yeah, I wondered the same thing when I came in 1996 and I saw that question. I thought, why are we asking people that? Well, again, the whole application, the scope of the application is designed to maximize a person's benefit. And I've never seen anyone answer yes to that question, but there are Americans who are put into internment camps. These were U.S. citizens who were put into internment camps during World War II, so they couldn't work. Okay, these were Japanese Americans. So what we will do is, if a person did answer yes to that question and we're able to establish it with the proper documentation, we'll actually add on wages to their record to the time that they were in these internment camps. Now, while I've never seen anyone answer yes to that question here in Erie, if I was a claims rep in Spokane, Washington, or Seattle, Washington in 1980, I would have seen people answering yes to that question. So we ask about minor children and disabled adult children. We ask about previous marriages, and depending on how those questions are answered, there may be follow-up questions that we have for the person. So really, I look at the application as almost like a data collection device that shows us how much we're supposed to pay that person so we can maximize their benefit. You don't have to have a PhD in Social Security to apply for Social Security. You really need to figure out the date you want it, based on the estimates that we're giving you through your My Social Security account and the accompanying calculators that are on the website. And once you figure out the date you want it, you fill out the application and give us all the other information. And from there, we'll maximize your benefit. We'll look for spousal benefits. We'll look for widow's benefits. We'll look if there are any benefits are due for your children. We'll look to see if any your spouses do any benefits off of your record. So the spousal benefit is a bi-directional benefit, meaning we look both ways for that. And again, generally a person can complete the application in 15 minutes. And you could probably do it right now, Judy, off the top of your head. So most of the information a person knows right there to fill out. So hopefully it's easy for people to do. And I think the biggest thing is the questions that individuals have. So I think the My Social Security account and looking at your statement beforehand and trying to get that knowledge beforehand will help with some of those questions. What's the security like on the site?
Because I'm going to be putting in, private information. Tell me about that.
Well, we have a safe and secure site. Generally, if you have a My Social Security account and you protect your username and password, your account's going to be safe. We have actually more concerns about individuals who have not set up their My Social Security account yet. So, if you think about it, we have 360 million people in our country, and anyone over the age of 18 is eligible to set up a My Social Security account. Okay. If a person hasn't done that yet, essentially they're leaving a non-completed account ready for someone else to try to set up. So we have seen instances where scammers or bad guys attempt to go into accounts that are not set up yet and set up a My Social Security account under that name. Now, if you do it for a younger person, you'll well, one, if you're able to get through the questions to set up an account for a younger person, you probably already know a lot about that person's identity because of the questions, there's security questions to even set up an account. So we ask a bunch of, who the person is, what their social security number is, what their date of birth is, and then we take it a step further where we have a one-way sharing agreement with a credit agency where we'll ask 5 questions related to their credit. Okay. So I was asked, when I set up my account, I was asked about a car loan that I had in 1999. And I was like, gosh, I don't even remember which car I was driving in 1999, let alone like what bank I borrowed money to buy this car. But I was able to get it right. It was multiple choice. So I was able to get it right. And I was able to set up an account because of that. So there's these security questions. So if a younger person, their account gets hacked, so to speak, the individual probably already knows a lot of information about them to be able to set up that account.
Okay.
And then they'll just have more information about the individual's earnings, about the individual's specific Social Security. If a current customer's account gets hacked, what we've seen is they try to divert a check. So the old scam used to be, it's old scams, new scams, right? The old scam, and I feel like you and I talked about this on a program years ago, used to be that a mail truck would be delivering checks around the neighborhood to the mailbox on a third of the month. Everybody knows that Social Security checks used to be paid in the third of the month. And then you'd have the bad guys follow the mail truck around, and they would steal the checks out of the mailbox, So we have now the new version of that scam is to break into somebody's My Social Security account and divert their direct deposit for 1 month. Okay. Obviously, the moment the person doesn't get that check, they're going to come to our office or they're going to give us a call and report, like, I didn't get my check, and then we're able to see, oh, your direct deposit was diverted by, a bad guy to another account, and we're able to change that. So that's on the accounts that aren't set up. The real answer to stopping the security that you've talked about is individuals setting up a My Social Security account themselves and protecting their username and password.
Okay.
And we're using multifaceted verification now that when a person logs in, they're getting a code sent to their phone, and then they're using that code to actually log in. Okay, so it's a pretty secure login at this point.
Right.
But if you haven't set up an account, you're leaving it potential for someone else to set up. Now, if we have people out there who want no part of the internet, who really still want to do business in a traditional way, they still want to come to our office, or they still want to call our 800 number, and we still have those services for those individuals, I encourage people like that to contact us to block their accounts. So we can actually put a block on individual's account, which will prevent anybody from setting it up, including them. So if an individual wants no part of the online world and all of this seems foreign and scary to them, they can contact Social Security at our 800 number or at the local, or come into the local office, and they can request that their account be blocked. Okay? That means that nobody will be able to set up an account on their record, and they will not be able to set up an account on their record. So that's the best way to protect it, is either setting up or protect your information and protect your Social Security, is setting up an account on your own record, or blocking it if you don't want that.
Joan, we were talking about scams, but first off, that is interesting to know why it is so important to set up a My Social Security account. I didn't realize it's actually protecting you from many scams. You talk about old scams, new scams. What scams are you seeing going on right now?
Sure, I'm glad that you brought that up, and I know that we chatted a little bit about this before. So we've seen a rash of, probably since October of 2018, we've seen this rash of phone calls where individuals will call members of the public, claim that they're from Social Security, and make a statement like, your Social Security number is suspended, or your Social Security number has been put on hold, or there's a problem with your Social Security number, all sorts of things. We're just the agency that they're mentioning. Like the IRS has been victim of this. All sorts of probably fundraising agencies. I got a call yesterday on my phone from somebody telling me that they were Microsoft and they were my computer was having problems, and I said, I just hung up on the person.
I got that phone call too.
Yeah.
Yes.
First I thought, why did I even pick up this call? Because now I have a kind of a personal motto that if I don't recognize the number, because we now all have cell phones, or if we don't have cell phones, we at least have caller ID, so we know
Right.
who is calling us. If you don't recognize the number, there's probably nothing good on the end of that.
No, and if it is something good, they're going to leave a
They're gonna leave
voicemail.
a voicemail, absolutely. So I just, it's probably better off not even to answer the phone. But if you do answer the phone and someone says they're from Social Security and that your benefit is suspended, hang up on them immediately. Please hang up on them immediately. That's not the way we do business. When we do business, we contact people directly and we'll send them a letter and say, you have an appointment at this time. We're going to be calling you at this time, on this date, at this phone number, okay? We also give a number to contact the individual to say, if you want to change this appointment, if this appointment isn't working for you, give us a call and let us know. So, if you think about it, you've never been cold called by Social Security in your life, right?
No.
Nor have
I've been called,
You've been called.
but it was with an appointment,
Right.
and I knew what time they were going
Yes,
to call and what
exactly.
phone, so you are right.
Yeah, we don't just pick up the phone and call people and tell them their Social Security number has been suspended. And what's happening is when there are some people who have fallen victim to the scam and
Right.
have done what these people wanted. Like there was, part of it was something about sending gift cards. So they were instructed to buy gift cards and then read the gift card numbers to the scammers. And we actually had some individuals who brought the gift cards into the local office. So to me, that just seems insane, but people are falling for
People
it because
are falling, yes.
they become afraid, and they're worried that something's wrong with their Social Security. And, that's the nature of all scams is you put the person on the horns of dilemma. You make them want to do something right now. They have to act now. And that's the other thing. If you've ever dealt with Social Security, you know that we are slow and steady, kind of that slow
Right,
and steady
yes.
wins the race. When you file the claim, we're going to, if you need something, we're going to send you a letter and we're going to say, please give us this documentation. You have 2 weeks to get us this documentation,
Right.
or you have 30 days to get this documentation. We never just, instantly tell people, like, if you don't do this, you're not going to get this. There's a time period and there's a communication that we do in writing. So everything about these scam calls, I want the public to understand that that's not how we do business. So if someone's calling you and they're representing Social Security, the best thing you can do is hang up on us. And if it's really us trying to get in touch with you, we'll get in touch with you through the proper channels, by sending you a letter and by setting up the appropriate appointment.
Right, because if you are calling them and they do hang up, you'd send a letter. We have tried numerous
Yeah,
times to
absolutely.
contact you, so you know that it is them. John, I want to ask you, someone does get one of those phone calls, and what they're doing is they're putting people on the spot, so they don't ask anybody and say, well, what do you think about this? And someone will say, whoa, hang up on it.
Right.
They've got them right there, and it's a scare tactic.
It is a scare tactic.
Now, if they hang up, is there somebody they should contact and say, I got this phone call, who should they be aware of that they received this?
Yeah, so if you go to our website, there's a red banner on our website
Okay.
that deals with fraud and deals specifically with these scam calls. And there's been several posts that we've made about these scam calls. And within that blog post is a number for our enforcement department. So we have a criminal division called the Office of Inspector General, where individuals can make a direct report either by phone or through the internet.
Okay.
And those links are available on our website, socialsecurity.gov. You click on that fraud post and you'll find that information.
All right, good.
Yeah.
John, our time is kind of coming to an end. Is there something that you wanted to touch base on that we didn't get a chance to talk about? That people should know or be aware of?
Yeah, I
no?
think I think we hit a wide variety of
And
topics.
I still have more things I
know.
want to talk to you. You can come back.
Yeah, wait, I'll come back and we'll do a whole other show. But I just invite people to check out our website if you haven't yet, socialsecurity.gov. Set up a My Social Security account. If you're a future customer, you'll see that statement. You'll be able to look at your earnings every year. If you're a current customer, you'll be able to basically administer your own Social Security benefits right from the website. There's a wealth of information out there. So yeah, check out our website and see what's there.
John, thank you so much. I know you're a busy guy, and thanks for coming on the
Always
show.
a pleasure.
I always enjoy it.
Thanks, Judy.
So, viewers, again, get a My Social Security account. I did it. If I can do it, anybody can do it. Trust me on this. It's easy, and it's going to help protect you in the long run. So viewers, I hope you found the show very helpful today, and until next time, have a wonderful day.